Hey, beautiful souls. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. And today we are going to talk about something that I had a conversation with recently with a good friend of mine who is definitely, I would definitely consider her an awakened person. And we're having a conversation about life purpose. And she was saying how she doesn't know what her life's purpose is. And I hear that a lot from people that they don't know what their purpose is, they don't know, and it kind of keeps them feeling stuck. And they want to know, they want to know, they want to know. And of course, we all want to know. But you've heard me say this many times. It definitely is about the journey. And I just want to talk to you about what I've learned on my journey, because I had that question as well, many times. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose, right? And I felt like I had to know. And what I realized is that I was kind of feeling like maybe I needed to do something first, like I needed to get a certain qualification. I needed to aspire to something first, because before I can get on my purpose and walk in my power. And I want to tell you first of all what I've learned, that it's much closer than what you think. It's very, very close. And you probably have already seen lots of pieces or lots of signs to what it is. And it's a lot simpler than what you think. And when you get there, you're going to be like, whoa, what? Okay, yeah, I know, that's me. Yeah, okay, I've been doing it already. Right. Like, for example, I remember looking back when I was a small girl, maybe about 7 or so, and there's certain things that I just like knew. Like, I mean, people would say, well, how do you know? You haven't even lived. You're only like a kid. But I would just like say things like, somehow I knew that I would be living in 2 countries at the same time. Now, how does like a second grader know about living in 2 countries during that time? Okay, there was no internet when I was 7 years old, and no one had ever like traveled, at least in my immediate family, right? I mean, I had family that they were in the military, but it wasn't really like that. They were just, someplace far away. And I had never talked to them about living and moving and all that stuff, but I knew that I would be living in 2 countries at the same time. I also knew at this young age that I would probably be marrying someone that was from someplace else. Now, how do I know that? I don't know, but I just like knew. And there are a couple of other things that I could say about that, but I won't. That's for another video. But I also knew that I was really creative and I can make things naturally. Just my creativity just like extended to just my imagination at the time, but I always knew that I would work for myself. How did I know? I didn't really know, but I knew. Okay, so the point is that many of these pieces to this puzzle and figuring out your divine purpose, you already know. Okay, but you want like the banner. You want okay, I got it. I am blah, blah, blah. No, because it's you, and you are many layers, many things. And this is what makes you unique. Okay, because all of the layers, all of the unique gifts and talents and experiences that you have had, they're a big part of your divine purpose. Okay, you are uniquely equipped for your purpose. Like no one else can do what like you are divinely guided to stand in your purpose. Okay, that's why it's yours. I think I also knew that as I started to get older in life, like realizing I wasn't like everybody else, but wanting to be like everybody else, like I knew I wanted something great in my life, something that I hadn't seen other people like doing. Like it wasn't like, I could never say like, okay, I want to be that, or I'm going to be that, you know. But I was just sort of like creating it as I was like living my life. And so of course I've done a lot of things, and I kind of remember feeling like, some of you that know me, you know that I've lived all over the world for years, traveling and living and working as an international model all over the world for a long time. And so I didn't understand, like, well, what does that have to do with my divine purpose? Like that was just something that I did. Like, how does that equate? How does that help me to stand in my divine purpose? And what I'm knowing now is that, well, first of all, it got me out of my little cocoon, my little comfort zone, okay, which was natural for me to get out, because I was like, I can't wait to get out of here. And being very comfortable in the world out there, okay, was natural. There was never any fear. I love culture, I love differences, I love people, I love newness, I love learning. And with that creative, part of me, of course, being around all these creative people as well, and even helped me to grow even more. And just being comfortable with being out there and being uncomfortable, so that growth that was happening exponentially. At the time, I didn't really like, how does that have to do with divine purpose? I'm thinking divine purpose is spirituality, is like a big thing, and you gotta be, like doing big things. But really that was part of like my education, or part of my learning and becoming, who I am now, and who I am becoming more of in the future, and how important it is, and how helpful it is, and how unique it is in becoming divine, and becoming really powerful, and having this unique divine purpose. So travel, culture, languages, creativity, changes as well, just adapting and that sort of thing. Now, another thing, okay, I went to university, and I thought at the time, years ago, when I had just started, back in the day, just getting out of high school, I'm gonna be in college, I'm gonna be in front of the cameras, I'm gonna be delivering the news. Then later on, I said, okay, I'm not going to be delivering the news, but I'm going to be working for a representative, like maybe a political official, like I'm going to be their communications director. I'm going to communicate to the press, my bosses, or the organization that I work for, their position, their position in terms of where they stand on particular issues. So I was communicating to the world. Well, hello. You see how that helps me, or that has helped me? And it kind of got me started, where I never got the job, thank goodness, because that wasn't where I was supposed to be. But I needed to have some sort of training to elevate myself, right? And then later on, being in front of the cameras as a professional model, because when I'm in front of the cameras, and I'm working, I'm very much comfortable. I'm very much at home, Of course, you have a great team around you, but at the same time, it's natural. I didn't really do a lot of talking in the beginning, because I was just doing modeling, and then I started doing, advertising and, commercials. And then later on, I started doing acting, got acting gigs as well. So it definitely has primed me to be in my authentic self and feel comfortable and communicating. Okay, so I think you kind of see where I'm going, and this is not all about me. I'm just saying what I have noticed, and understanding my divine purpose is that everything that I've done is kind of like little pieces, little pieces, little pieces. Okay, and what you've done is unique in its own right. It's amazing in its own right, even though at the time when you were doing it, it didn't feel like it, because maybe it didn't become what you thought it should, but it was preparation for your divine purpose. Okay? So all the pieces you're compiling for the puzzle, starting to take shape, and of course, priming you, prepping you, getting you ready, but also all the things that happened to you that were not so pleasant as well. It could be like your childhood. Like, I did not know that when I was very young, I was an empath. I didn't know. We didn't use words like that. Okay, this is some new stuff. Like, right? We didn't have the tools. We didn't have the words. But now that we know more, I'm talking about the world, or the spirit world. We can use words that we all understand to be universal. We understand. So I can say, yeah, I was definitely empathic. I still am. Okay, but as a kid, I did not know that I was raised by a narcissist. Okay, we didn't call it that. We just knew that something ain't right, right? And it was simple, but it's hard to put that into perspective then. But we know so much more now, right? So again, putting another piece to that puzzle which is you, and understanding your divine purpose. Okay, so I hope that I'm making it easier for you to understand and identifying your divine purpose, because it's not going to happen like one day you're just going to like wake up and I'm like, I got it, right? Now you could wake up and you can have pieces, okay, or a bigger piece than before, and as you start to gain a momentum, that means that you're really elevating. Your frequency is definitely vibrating high, and you're going somewhere, okay? But it's about the journey, because you might have another piece, but then there's more, okay? And it's really exciting as it unfolds, and I want to say try to enjoy it as much as possible. It's exciting. But of course, our ego wants to be in control, and it wants to rob us of that experience. So just try to be a little patient, okay, if you can. All right, so another really big important thing that I've started to do that has really helped me to understand my divine purpose is journaling. Now, journaling is nothing new. I'm sure you've done it. I've been doing it for years, like off and on, but I decided I would start up again, and I was journaling for different reasons, just writing down like affirmations, or working on things that I was wanting to manifest, and ideas or quotes, or ideas for videos or questions, just all kinds of stuff, books to read, things and places I wanted to, go, or to have in my life, working on manifesting all kinds of stuff, everything, and or just writing down determinations as well, So in the process, the more I journaled, the more I wanted to journal. It became like part of like my daily activity, just like eating breakfast, or washing your face, taking a shower, having your coffee, or whatever. It just became normal, and I made sure that I did it. And then I started to realize that I found other reasons to journal, like, and after a while, I started to realize that more things came to me that way, like answers. And as it relates to my divine purpose, I started to get bigger chunks of the puzzle, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, I started to say like, wow, okay, I'm gonna do that, and I can do this, and it's always stuff that you know how to do, or that's not like far-fetched, like you don't have to like retrain or be somebody else, because it's authentically you. And maybe it was kind of hidden a little bit, but now you've grown and you've done some healing, and you've let go of some limited beliefs about life or yourself, and you're just in a better place and a higher frequency to manifest this, right? And you find like when you get these ideas, you're kind of excited. You're like, oh, okay, let me write this down real quick before I forget. It's just, let me add this to my list of other things that I'm working on, you know? Because here's the thing, you are enough just as you are, but just bringing it all out of you, remembering it. Because just like I said, when I was a kid, just remembering all these pieces, and I didn't realize that. I didn't know anything about divine purpose. You know, I'm just a kid, but just thinking like, out of all the things that I can remember, and there's not a lot that I do remember, I mean, a few things, but I'm remembering these pieces and how important it is. And it makes all making sense now. I coincidentally, if you've been watching my videos, a few months ago, I decided that I was ready to like completely like let go of the lesser self, that I was becoming someone else. And at the time, I didn't see like becoming someone else. Like, what do you mean? I'm me. Like, how can I become somebody else? Like, for real, right? But what I want to say is that what was important to me was no longer still important to me. It didn't really matter because I was starting to see and understand and feel and know things again, like I did when I was a kid, right? All right, I was starting to heal and I was starting to remember who I am. And I decided, and I know, some people understood, some people didn't, but I started to understand again why things had to happen the way they did in terms of what was happening. Like all these things were not important, which they used to be so important. Well, okay, why are they no longer important? Because you're becoming something more. So why should things be that important? Right? Because you can always get new things. Things are just things, right? And let go of all of that life without too much fear. I was ready to manifest the new. I was ready for something new. Life wasn't bad. I can tell you that. It was not bad at all. But it was getting kind of stale. I was getting kind of tired. It wasn't feeling good. You know, kind of like a relationship. Sometimes you're like, it's time to end it, but you kind of want to stay in there longer than what you really need to, right? It was feeling like that. Like I felt like I couldn't continue like this. And it wasn't intentional. It was just unfolding like that. And I completely let go of everything. My business, my home. People started to fall away again because the new me did not align with that old self. So again, another piece to the puzzle, okay? Becoming, stepping into your divine purpose, and understanding that where I was headed, I needed to be personally someplace else that would help me to elevate in a much more abundant way. It didn't mean that it was permanent or I'm permanent where I am, because leaving all that behind, you know, even the country and all the other stuff, coming to a new country temporarily, and who knows where the road is going to lead me. Who knows? You know, if you stay on this journey with me, you'll know, I'll know. But right now, I'm not even really tripping about that. I'm just on the road, you know, like being free, belonging to myself. So yeah, I just I took the leap, and you know, betting on myself and trusting and standing in my power, knowing that I always knew that there was something that I was destined for that was much bigger. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, but it's unfolding. It's happening. So I want to say to you, in understanding your divine purpose, are there things about your life that kind of gave you hints into what your divine purpose really is? Like things from like your childhood or things that happened in your family, whether it was positive or unpleasant, because that's part of your story as well. I mean, the fact that many of us come from dysfunction, complete dysfunction, and having to heal so that we can overcome, so that we can not only heal ourselves, but we can heal our bloodlines as well. I mean, that's part of our purpose as well, okay? We have many things to do. And knowing that you are evolving more and more, you are stepping into your power, you are healing, you are loving self, you are becoming more and more, and you are knowing your power. So I want to ask you, do you know what your purpose is? And I also want to know if you have any unique ways that have helped you to discover what that purpose is. Or are you on the road to understanding? And I want to hear. So leave me a message, comment below, and let me know if you have some great ideas to share, not only with me, but with the community. And yeah, let's like support each other and pass it around. I'd love to hear from you. And with that said, that's all I got for you today. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and donate and share, okay? I'll see you next time.